In this position from 2020, Grandmaster Hans Niemann is facing off against Grandmaster Christopher Yu. And in this game, Hans sees right through the chaos and dismantles his opponent with engine-like precision. Let's break it down. Hans has the black pieces, and the game kicks off with Christopher Yu thinking he's found a tactic. He plays bishop takes h6, sacrificing the bishop. The idea? If black captures, it removes the defender of the knight on f6, allowing queen takes f6, winning back the piece and ending up a pawn ahead. But this capture on h6 is double-edged. It cracks open the h-file, which Niemann's rook is eyeing directly at white's king. And here's where Niemann shows his brilliance. Instead of reacting, he strikes in the center with pawn to d5, aiming to break down the pawn chain and eliminate the defender of the f5 knight. However, this move also lets white grab a second pawn with bishop takes g7, hitting the rook. After a trade, white's not just being greedy, this opens a line of attack on the knight on f6, which now looks vulnerable. But Niemann doesn't panic. Instead of retreating, he cold-bloodedly plays d takes e4, sacrificing the knight. There's no better option, so Yu captures it. But Niemann's real point is revealed. He plays e takes f3, continuing to break open the center. And now, for the price of a piece, Hans has the open h-file, the open g-file, and a powerful light-squared bishop springing to life. Yu tries to regroup, playing knight to f5, trying to bring the knight back to g3 to shield his king. But Niemann keeps control with rook d to g8, locking down the open g-file. The only defensive idea? Knight to g3. Now we're in a position where white is technically up a piece, but can't find a move. And Hans plays a calm, surprising move, king to b7. It looks like there's no time to make such a slow move while down material and attacking, but Niemann knows white has no useful moves left. You might want to develop with knight to f3, but ironically, this knight is the only thing guarding the d2 square. If it moves, queen to d2 hits instantly, threatening checkmate. Stuck for options, Yu tries pawn to a4, hoping to activate the rook via rook to a3. But it's too slow. Hans sees the finish line and plays the thunderbolt. Rook takes h2, sacrificing the rook. If white accepts and captures it, the knight is left undefended. That's when queen to g4 strikes, attacking the knight. The knight can't move, queen takes g2 would be checkmate. And if white tries to defend with queen to e5, Niemann calmly plays pawn to f2, attacking the rook and, more importantly, controlling the g1 square. Now the king is completely boxed in. The rook can't move, or queen to h4 ends the game with checkmate. So, white doesn't accept the sacrifice and instead plays rook to a3, finally activating the rook. But it's too late. Niemann slams the door shut with rook takes g3, grabbing the knight. White's king is completely exposed and helpless. Christopher Yu tries one last desperate check with rook to b3, but it's just a check. King to a7 calmly escapes, and it's here, seeing no way out, that Yu resigns. Because just look at the position, there's absolutely nothing left to be done. Take the rook? Rook takes g2, followed by queen to h3, and that's checkmate.